good afternoon, good evening, my fellow televiewers and audience. You are watching African Hour, coming to you from Boston, Massachusetts. My name is Fru Nkimbe. African Hour has been on the air for since 2000, and African Hour bring guests to share their opinion and educate our viewers and our audience. A disclaimer: the views expressed on this show by our guests are solely those of our guests, and African Hour doesn't control what our guests say. Today, we have two important guests from across the Atlantic. Pa Asson coming to you from Atlanta, Ferdinand coming to you from Bamenda, Cameroon. This is actually a post-summit reflections and discussion. A month ago, we met in Johannesburg, South Africa, as a leadership summit to discuss the crisis in the southern Cameroon. I've brought these guests because they were in attendance at that summit, for them to share their views and what transpired at the summit for our viewers and audiences to understand what's going on. I'll pass now the microphone to Ferdinand in Bamenda, Cameroon, to say a little bit about himself. What's happening in Cameroon?
Thank you very much, Pafu Kimbeng. It's a pleasure to be with you and the viewers in African Hour. My name is Ferdinand Sonia Mbitonya, and I am based in Bamenda, Cameroon. I'm a civil society youth leader, and I work in supporting community development, trying to grow our community to develop. And as you all may know, you cannot develop a community without developing people. And you must have the people that you're developing before you develop them, before you develop the community. My work really centers around supporting community development by building bridges to sustainable solutions to problems that occur within our community across health, education, agriculture, technology, peace building, and environmental protection. It is within the spirit of this work that the current conflict in the Northwest and Southwest region is of very critical interest to our organization. And we've been working to support peace-building efforts and conflict resolution efforts within the context of our Sustainable Peace Department. So I'm the CEO of the organization, the Reconciliation and Development Association, and I work within this framework, and that includes peace building with respect to the conflict that is currently raging in our community in the Northwest region. And by extension, it includes Northwest, Southwest region. And then I would say the entire country is in a big challenge because of this conflict in the Northwest and Southwest. As an advocate, it's important for me, and it's important for me to add my voice to how we positively contribute to resolution of the conflict with a permanent solution, sustainable solution, so that we can develop our community in peace and not in pieces. Thank you very much for having me once more.
Thank you very much for that wonderful introduction coming to us from Ground Zero, Bamenda. It's refreshing to see someone from home, and you make us feel homesick. So thanks a lot for your input. Pa Asson, over to you.
Thank you for the opportunity, Park, and for giving me to come here as a participant on the show. My name is Anthony Asson, and I live in Atlanta, Georgia, here in the United States. In terms of the problems that we have in our country, I'm a purebred bona fide Southern Cameroonian and Bazonian. And I come to this perspective informed, by my love for freedom, liberties, and justice. So whenever situations unfold where people are being oppressed and so on, I always like to stand on the side of the oppressed and make sure that everybody is treated humanely and in a justifiable manner. So I live in Atlanta with my family, and I was a participant in the South African meeting, and I came there under the platform of the pro-independent caucus. So that's why, and that's the position that I bring to this conversation here. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that introduction, Comrade Asong. I would like each of you to give us your review, what happened in South Africa. Ferdinand, from your perspective from home, I'm very sure our listeners at home would really want to get your opinion as to whether South Africa summit met your expectation, and what did you take from the summit?
Thank you once more, Powerful. I think one of the very important things is that we always need to have the opportunity to sit down and to talk. When we talk about freedom of speech, I always like to differentiate that with freedom to insult. We've had a very arduous 8 to 9 years of so many insults, so many challenges, uncountable when it comes to the problems that we're facing as far as the former British Southern Cameroon is concerned. And within the community that is particularly affected, it's been worse, where you've had factions that have basically dealt with each other, dealt with people individually and with communities. And that has been really challenging to find a solution. It's actually also been propagated by the government as a challenge, because the government has been able to put forth a question: who do I talk to if the international community and everybody around says the solution is to talk? I would like to say that talking is a very, very important aspect of solving problems, because through talking, it's like research. You generate the data that you can analyze to come out with solutions and trends and themes, and then you can be able to say, this is what we find, and these are the recommendations. But we've found a situation where within the people of the former British Southern Cameroon, there has been no talking. There has been rather squabbles and very deep lines of division that have led to some of the unfortunate repercussions, like what I've mentioned about the question the government has asked. More to that is there's been so much division that people don't really recognize each other as brothers, as people who can work with each other for common solutions and for development, which has brought us back. So when I talk about talking, it's important for people to talk constructively, to discuss with each other, because when we come together, we basically generate that data that is necessary for us to bring out what we should be doing, especially as a community, to bring peace to our people. So to me, South Africa was that opportunity. And the uniqueness of South Africa was that we had not a clash of ideologies, but a willingness by those who stand by certain ideologies as solutions to the conflict, come together to sit and to discuss with each other. There are people who believe strongly that the political solution to this political problem is that we should get separated into two as a country. There are people who believe very strongly that we should be reformed into a federation. And these are the most prominent positions. And it's important to recognize these positions instead of brush them off, because I realize that people have formed these positions from very, very solid bases, historical, cultural, and so on, colonial, historical bases that are very valid. It's not okay to trash them off. Given that I remember a time when it was forbidden to talk about federation in Cameroon, now it is normal to express your ideas, including the fact that you wish that there should be a federation. My hope and my wish is that we should come to a point where it is not forbidden for people to express their ideas and wish and say whatever they wish as a political solution, as long as they are politicians and can elaborate how their position can actually bring a solution. We want to have that kind of discussion on the table. And so the centrality of ideologies is a matter worth discussing. And so I found that South Africa brought that opportunity for people who have not met with each other, who have not talked with each other, and who normally do not see eyeball to eyeball, and even consider themselves as almost enemy, blacklegs as it is often called, to actually recognize what brings them together, what is common among them, and try to solve some of the differences So it was a very important meeting, was a unique
Oh,
meeting. And from a civil society perspective, we brought the civil society perspective of impartiality and neutrality to be able to cause the political solution orientation to have
oh,
a responsible decision or a responsible discussion. So thank you very much.
okay, thank you very much for that expansive response. One thing that I would like to say is, we talk now for we people, this grammar, it is so my audience where they will listen this one, the people where they there with you on the ground for dinner. I think say be important. We will get them at heart. We are not just talking to anybody. So I really think say may we try see how we fit mix them so that may they understand exactly. So, but I like for appeal say may we limit our responses because they are follow up questions that we want to cover a lot of ground. Person from the diaspora point of view and going to this conference where we will meet up. So from this conference, you don't also attend many other conferences. What to be your opinion and what you feel tell with people for ground and the people where they know be there for this conference?
When I was going to South Africa, because of the different participants, where they be identify them, for some people, we just be like, no, it is a no-go area because we get these federalists and the civil society people where they come. But I think I will learn a lot when I go there. Sometimes when you know she don't face to face with your brother, you get a conversation a bit difficult for she throw into his heart. And so I will come back from South Africa a little bit of a different person, for be very honest, because we provide we opportunity where we should also across the table we talk to ourselves. But I think South Africa too will been a very enriching experience for me because there were two main things where me I will learn from South Africa. The experts will become addressed we they will provide a kind of perspective where me and never get because like people when they get experience for that kind of similar struggles. They tell with the dynamics where they face when they be there for their own struggle and the way society they behave. Those are things that you only need somebody where don't go through that kind of experience for explain that for you. So the South African, leadership summit, it will provide me with that experience where life. I sit there, people where they don't go through this kind of struggle, they provide with their perspective. This, there was a struggle fighting, there be the struggle fight apartheid, but there was also internal struggles inside their own organizations, and we did face exactly the same thing. So we left there with a lot of good advice. We will leave there with a lot of good advice. That is one educative component when we have to get for South Africa. Then the second component too now for she don't face to face with our brothers, listen to them, especially with brothers who they come out ground zero, listen to them. They tell me the way they feel about the whole thing. And one of the things where we really need tolerance of the other point of view. I think for the component of the struggle, there is a lot of intolerance from the other person's point of view. But we'll continue to work. That is a difficult thing to achieve. But me like a pro-independence person, will continue to work to tolerate the way our other brothers they think about the disagreements and the struggle. We'll continue to work. So for me, it's been a very, very enriching experience. And one takeaway message I say, we'll not go there for compromise with platforms or for compromise with thinking. My pro-independence stance, I didn't give away anything, not by an inch at all when we go South Africa. It's just they say, when we do things from different points of view, there is a fiber beneath that stitches our efforts together, and that fiber is invisible. And when those efforts are stitched together by that invisible fiber, there is complementarity and there are synergies. But since we not see that fiber physically with our eyes, we sometimes really ignore, that component of togetherness. So me, I urge everybody say, wherever you do, wherever you are, take pride in doing the thing that you are doing, so long as our common goal is liberties and freedom for our homeland. Now, all that will be important for me. So from South Africa, I went away with a very important lesson in the struggle. And that's my perspective from what I had from South Africa.
Well, Ferdinand, back to you from ground zero. Personally, I be there, South Africa, so I be the fear say when we not come out ground zero come, so if you just give the temperature as to how you go back, people that receive you, and how is the dynamic, because there is this fear of by some of us we were there outside as when I be go back home, so we'll be a little bit concerned about security and how things will go. You never really know, but it will give us that assurance for hear from you, because civil society, the clergy coming from home, they add validity and a lot of reality to we where we did from the diaspora. So
right, Pa, thank you. I think the fact that we be the gonna for go find solution. That's something where people then definitely look and positive. And say as a society, it ever find for align with the way it be positive. One thing I say, when people they commit crime, it ever be very, very difficult for others not for recognize say this one na crime. And when you did do na something where it be positive, it be easy too for people to for recognize and say this one it be positive. So we effort be clear, say it be now for positively contribute to ending the conflict. It be now for go, cause some man or for bring some problem for some man. It be now because we hate some person or we try for show this one or for show that one. All be now get towards looking for a solution. Why? Because for ground, many people then really go through a lot. I feel tell you say it be very different when you there for Bamenda, in terms of the atmosphere, than when you there for Yaoundé, when you there for Douala, when you there for the other towns of Cameroon. It be very different. That means the people then when they there for place where they really hear bad because of this conflict. When they hear say some effort they way it try for bring solution, they try for listen for understand what it be. Plenty of people then they way they don't reach out for me for asking what it be for South Africa, especially when they don't look the videos or they don't look some information. They see say I be did. Some people then have some very responsible people then where they work also for find a solution. They don't reach out, and I don't share my opinion for them. And most of them who I don't encounter them, they don't talk. Say when they be hear about the initiative, they be feel relieved. They be happy. Say at least some other initiative they way they come up. But people be also express concern. Say all time initiatives. What will be the difference between this one and any other one where it comes? And they ever try for really express the same way where I don't express them for the beginning of this video. Say all these problems come now because of way people they think for their head, people they think for their mind, and where people they express them through their mouth and through their actions. If we feel be able to come together for where we will feel look into all of these things systematically, then we will solve the problem. So the efforts now for make sure say make this one a be the case. So I think that generally, I feel that the temperature be fine in terms of how people they don't receive we, people they don't still say be positive, but people they still express concern say like any other initiative, which it could come out from this one, what it be when it could be the difference between this one and any other one.
Well, thank you very much. Coming from ground zero, it give us a peace of mind. But also, now message this way they come from you from ground zero. You there for this struggle from beginning and you don't attend many conferences. We don't hear from Ferdinand. We there for ground zero. Say sometime we talk too much for diaspora. We did thousands of miles away. And sometimes we know the listen for them where they there for ground. For your experience and for all the conferences where they start this struggle from Nigeria to Washington, D.C., to Europe, to Canada, where we there here with the worker they attend these conferences. So the people for ground, as Ferdinand talk, say they want results. I want me you touch that one for see. Maybe we'll do something where we don't know how to explain them for people on the ground. May they see them.
When they come for these conferences, then I think conferences they get their place for every struggle like this, because conferences they bring activists and actors from distant lands together. That face-to-face encounter they be very crucial, because some things in the way, you know if you talk up where the face-to-face with your brother. But when we meet, we'll be able to forget that kind of conversation. And now one of the most productive part of conferences than that. As to whether conferences did they yield any tangible results, I not fit rule out say conferences they yield tangible results, because conference there is immediate conference they bring immediate motivation. Conference they enforce resolve. So even if we leave conference, a lot of things do not happen when we leave conference. We know if we talk say conference, not get the place, for struggle. So the conferences are very useful. In fact, as a matter of fact, me, I would recommend say more get as many conferences as possible, because when you go to every conference, you learn something new. And that educational spirit is really one of the things that we need to continue to in-service ourselves on, as far as conferences to be concerned. I've been there for Canada, where the conference will be go for Canada, be for build the secretariat. Will be do a lot for come up with the secretariat. Many people they think say secretariat it die after Canada. Secretariat never die. Secretariat still there. The secretariat is not just a managerial tool. Secretariat and that tool with the way say people then where they try for do things for struggle. That secretariat, that tool be there for any person with it for struggle, for can use the tool. And that tool, if we help with for pull together with resources, and then from there, we'll be able to allocate those resources in a very efficient way. So conferences, they get their place. And not a discount conference. So the claim say we attend conference, after that it die, it will be buried, or it just go to the shelves. It not be true, because every conference brings with it some advantages, where and those advantages may be translating to the fight, on homeland, where but we not go see that connection. So I know I'm not ready to discount conferences yet. As a matter of fact, personally, I will recommend say we'll get many more conferences. Each conference where me I attend, I learn a lot. So, and I also encourage people then for attend conferences. When there is a conference, you really be for struggle, make an effort for go attend those conferences, because they help we. There's a lot that we learn when we attend conferences.
Thank you, Pa, for that answer. Maybe I tweak and get different. I think Ferdinand, for ask that question, I say, like now, after this conference for South Africa, people where they will go Canada, they be there in Nigeria. The importance of conference, and I say, may you spread your message. May the people where they know be there for conference, may they know the lesson, the way they happen, so that we go forward. I don't equally attend to this conference. They pronounce resolutions, and even some of these resolutions, they are dead in the trash bin in the hotels. Nobody talks about it. But I mean, are you there for this America? They use media. When there is a convention, political convention, it is not about those who attend the convention, but it is about these people. When they attend these conventions, may they go back to their constituency for tell them thing where they bring up. Because when I did for that convention, when they represent the people, no winner. So if anything when they talk for convention, it no reach the grassroots, then I no see say that information, that convention, it really gets a lot. Now, a very good thing say convention with there, because without communication, we know nothing where they go on. But the fact saying a sensitization of our people for all this convention, what we don't learn, how we feel change, how we feel move forward. That the question that we me at the put on now, as with people on the ground, they ask this question, say we be here say the day Nigeria, we here say the day Switzerland, we here say the day Canada, we here say the day Ghana, we hear now for here, but wait till happen. Any ideas? People they hungry for for also noting where it happened. I throw that one for una all. Me una look am. You look am from the diaspora, then Ferdinand too will look am from ground zero.
Conferences, they be very crucial. Like you see, when we did South Africa, there was a conference in Ghana, right? And I think now one of the greatest move, where the
Yes.
Ghana conference it don't make, because to bring our leaders together and to start bringing all of their efforts into one channel, it be very, very important. I think we don't be fed up with leaders, going in their separate ways. I think the Ghana conference for me, it was really the epitome of part of our struggle in terms of strategy. So I really commend all leaders when we go for Ghana, for get that meeting. The South Africa Leadership Summit was something a little bit more strategic rather than rather than the unity that everybody is calling for. So, but when that unity comes, the strategy becomes unified, and then a lot of things will happen. So, and that was also a conference, I would talk. So there are always benefits that come out of a conference, So I'm really glad say leaders will meet for Ghana. And I think right now, I hope say in the background that they work for really capitalize on the Ghana meet, so that one day we'll be lucky for here say leaders them. This is now the one strategy coming from the Ghana meeting. So now my perspective that for conferences. So like I say, I will continue for recommend conferences. I will continue for recommend say more leaders they get more and more meetings in the form of conferences or even private meetings.
But I totally agree with you, because when we see our leaders, they meet together, they talk, it give with that assurance say we forefathers, they be disagree, but they be campaign together, they be talk together. So that is a spirit where we inherit them, and we really want to see pictures, images, for see them together. And so, normally I say me, I talk say conferences they're no good. I just ask me equally. I want for I be hungry for no team where it happens, so that we move forward. Ferdinand, what do you think?
I want to say one of the greatest assets it being for a community and for a people, for it be able to stay calm and for be able for collectively stay calm as a people and for watch themselves very carefully in terms of which way they do and which way they not they do. That they ever need strength, and part of that strength they ever come from leadership, from inspiration, and so on. And so to be able to get that kind of leadership and inspiration, people that they ever emerge as leaders. And when people they emerge as leaders, you never find them through the ideas where they propound, the ideas where they bring them, and how they lead. And they never talk say they never ever assign leader and assign a leader they ever emerge. Leaders they emerge, you never see them clearly. And I think say which way they happen in terms of strategy and the calls for unity and collaboration. It be the spirit of leadership where it be reflect which way people they need them as a community to be able to stay calm and for able to be aware and to know which way they want and which way they need to do in order for remain stable and for achieve which way they need for achieve. So in terms of the impact of these conferences on the ground, I feel only talk say the perspective for the ground. I say people then be able to stay calmer when they see say initiatives, then where they get a positive impact on their lives that they go on. Otherwise, people they go get a lot of hypertension. People they get a lot of trauma. People they not get hope, and hope it be very important. So I feel only I'd say people they need to be encouraged, but also pray more. Would ever talk say thing they don't bad for level where all we will do now for pray. But I want to reverse that statement. Say the first thing we were supposed to always do for do now for pray, but the second thing we were supposed to do to now for continue to pray. The third thing that also for pray. Before you ever talk say the last thing we will do now only for pray. No say the first thing we will supposed to do now also for pray. People that they ever not feel fine say okay, would ever call for prayer plenty. But the truth that say no matter how thin they, no matter how thin they go, the the place for religious bodies, the place for something like prayer. So it ever give a lot of comfort for massive amount of society. And they encourage this one because if you look at the waiting and there for ground, the suffering where people that they go through, where you not feel explain them, wait till where you feel do the one of the worst things where you feel do now for tell discourage people then say may they not they pray and wait to be the content of your prayer. They pray for solution. They pray for leaders. People they call themselves the leaders. Pray for them because prayer will change people. Prayer will make until they change. Prayer will be able to help people that may they turn their minds. They start think differently. So man say okay we don't pray before wait till they change. If we talk say okay we will continue to pray, but not be say when one pray we will not the act. When you act, you need to ask yourself, which way you act, if you positively contribute, you take care for your brother or you kill your brother. You take care for your community or you further kill your community. You do things where if they ask and say you positively contribute or you negatively contribute, which could be your answer. Now the kind of encouragement that we talk because we also should don't think it be easy for people them for diaspora. Many of them not come back home. What it be for their mind, they be also traumatized in one way or the other. So they struggle to find ways. So if we talk say when would they act, whether not for diaspora or for ground, we need for the ask whether would they contribute positively. And in that way, whether now which conference happen or which side, whether the objective na strategy or the objective na unity or na collaboration, if the idea now for solve this problem, then even the least person for ground, as long as they also think for himself, say, think what they do at the add na wound or at the reduce na the trouble, then we could find say as a community we truly gravitate towards a certain hope where it could translate into true a conflict resolution and change for our lives. Our children and our community be highly at risk. If you look in where they happen, you know if be able for really believe which way people they bear, where people they go through. So thank you once more for that important question, Powerful.
Thank you again, Ferdinand. We know they here now for fear any question. We they here now for ask the tough questions. Because if we know say people that they feel pain on the ground, and sometimes person in action feel make that pain increase, it find me we talk. Personally, and then we encourage action that we will make that pain and understanding each other and move towards that solution. I don't equally hear from people where they're there for ground. Say we in the diaspora, we make life be more miserable for them. When we talk about pain, some people they don't use this struggle for inflict more pain on ourselves. And in those situations, struggle where in Bina we struggle, they make a now people they say nobody think this way will be asked. And me, where are they for this diaspora? So I not gonna lie you. Some of those things they come now from we because they know the fight war 1,000 miles away. They say person where they wear shoe, now he know the angle where it pinch, where it hurt. Sometimes we look at it from outside. This one, I really want to throw this song. I think say for this almost 7-8 years, we don't make mistake. We be normal. Go look back. We for the diaspora, so many mistakes and we don't learn. Which kind of lesson we don't learn? Pay for dinner. Actually look on that same question from the angle for them where they for on the ground, where they really feel the pain of some of the decisions and utterances the way we in the diaspora did talk.
Yes, Pa, thank you for that question. When a situation where they operate for any land in a situation of a shooting war, the collateral damage is sometimes never perceived or never foreseen. I think a lot of the pain where people that go through now collateral damage for this war, and that pain was to be expected at a certain level. Now, so the mistakes, like you talk about mistakes we don't do. I think if you look at our struggle from the day we start, I think if we talk about mistake, I think our number one mistake, now the fact say the resources will we generate in order to go or for go help this effort. And that resources, and if we go down because of fraud and embezzlement. And I consider people when they run fraud, struggle money, I consider them more of enemies than the real enemy world they fight. Because when you get a situation where two people that fight, when you get an enemy where when they disagree with you, it kill you, throw your body into the river, you face an existential threat from that enemy. So for fights, there is some word they call and say threat. Prior to 2017, the threat was a one-way street where we, the oppressed, were under the existential threat of the oppressor, and the oppressor could come and do anything where like ego. So the threat was 100% flowing from the oppressor to us. Even though we don't go through a lot of pain, I believe say we don't come a long way for make that threat a two-way street. We don't come a long way for make that threat a two-way street. I want to seize this opportunity for actually define what to be a threat for struggles and for fights. You constitute a threat when you get two components. Every threat gets two components. The equation of a threat has two components: motivation and resources. So if your resources, the little resources where you get you don't use them well, you are diminishing your threat in the fight. And motivation and resources, they come and they complement each other in the fight, and they give each person 100%. For this, we struggle. So these two components of the fight, we get motivation and resources in reverse, compared to each other. I think La République, they get 90% resources and 10% motivation. We get 90% motivation and 10% resources. And if we see this fight from this perspective, and then we realize, say, the mega resources where we get people that misuse them, it a bit heartbreaking. A bit heartbreaking, because until you balance up these two components in the fight, you will stand any chance. You see, when I say that we get 10% motivation, you can see it from, the way where their soldiers, they desert. That is lack of motivation. The desertion, they have to be alarmed by the level of desertions in their ranks. That is clearly a lack of motivation. But they have all of these physical resources where the motivation not there. I think one of the things where they be in a fight, and I say the opportunity for kill somebody, the only way if you counterbalance that opportunity now for develop your own opportunity for kill other person. And I think as far as this fight is concerned, we have come a long way in trying to level that opportunity. Because when the Republic soldiers they come out for kill boys, the opportunity for them to be killed is available. It did it in some proportion. So they fear when they come find with boys. Just like with boys, they fear when they go meet them. And so now this leveling of the playing field, it don't come a long way for get recognition. I think they recognize we more today than in the past. And violence is not.
I agree. I really agree.
Yes, violence will not ever be a good thing, and we are all looking for a way to end this violence. But when we threat level, it not reach a certain threshold, they not go respect we. But I think so we threat level there at a certain point of concentration where they give we a little bit of respect, and it is there. It is there for us to see, and everybody is see. So my word to our people, not just for continue for reinforce each of these components, and the motivational component, we just need to educate our boys. I think they get enough motivation because they are all voluntary fighters. And you have to have the motivation to voluntarily go out there and stand the chance of being killed. So the only thing we need to do now for our boys, now they provide them with the resources. Now I think that what they talk say a lot of the mistakes we don't make. Now the fact say the few resources where would it generate, wouldn't they use them in an efficient manner? And I use this opportunity for call on everybody will be involved for this uh, for this fight. For make sure say we enforce the humanitarian protections of our civilian people. you know. And sometimes the way you do this is for adopting, what people call self-defense, which is something that is really enshrined in our rights, to existence. So it be very important, say everybody accept the fact, say, if you get your neighbor where, it type of take away your own God endowed resources, where everybody he get his own. I think fighting back is the minimum you can do. And as far as attain a certain level of recognition from all of the things we've done do in terms of the struggle. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Ferdinand. You are on ground zero, and thing where you did talk, where it get a lot of weight. Would you feel the temperature through when I did on the ground?
Yes, Pa, thank you very much. I want to really sound very strongly say, it no matter which society you dey inside, whether the form of state for that society or the structure of state for that society, be na whichever one. Something in the way they cut across commonly. Something they like thief them. They all across. It no matter whether na for United States of America where you get na which kind of structure, whether would they call and say na the best structure of governance or best form of state, or na which other form of state for whichever area. Thief them they. We get bad people them. You get people them with some very funny idea them. Even if the country already be stable, you still get elements the way they emerge for that country, where they get things the way they do, where no man for inside that society still talks the one are correcting the way person way it be normal for inside this society per the definition of society is supposed to do. So I want to look from that perspective, say it no matter whether we dey within the struggle for recognition on self-determination, where it be go now how within the context of how we be organized. Because like I don't hear for a recent video where the analogy being made, say sometime the day where person for fee go for the boys so that may they be able to give them protection. But now it not be the case, because even the way they handle people, it not be where a person feel desire for have protection from them. And you talk about the different mistakes they will don't do. That I for talk from my personal perspective, say from the way where I see this struggle from 2016. If you be ask me, say, may we go on, I know for accept. I would say no, that should not be the way that we should be able to engage to solve the problem. Because I believe so much in what I personally learned, though just from social media, as our history, that made me to really identify myself, with our community strongly. And I believe that it was something important for the government to look into. The people who had been before us called it the force of argument. I'm sure you people are old enough to actually know that that is really the case. And not the argument of force. I think that even till now, for Galanfo, who is in jail, still believes in that direction of things. But what I'm really trying to underscore here is that I'm one of those people who really believe that if we continue to coordinate ourselves better within the force of argument, we would have really had so much argument that we could have really gone so far. I must seize the opportunity to say here that one of the things I admired very strongly was the kind of coordination and movement that was done by people like Koayuk Julius, who is now in jail. And his own effort in that direction kind of brought a lot of peace or thought in people's mind, as in it's possible to coordinate effectively and have people coordinated. So the thing is, when you're looking for a solution to a problem that is very heated, there are many elements that can cause trouble within that solution, not only from outside, but also from within. And one of our errors has therefore been the consistent lack of very strong coordination and leadership, whereby you can see it coming, you can see the negatives coming, and preempt and see how you can be able to mitigate them from a leadership perspective. We have really had that. That's why there has been so much fragmentation that has really harmed us so much. So I think that in terms of the errors, that is the one. And then when you link that to the idea of self-defense, which personally I don't have a problem with self-defense, in that if somebody wants to destroy me and I'm able to destroy them first, I can do that. Self-defense is actually a legitimate right of everybody. You can run away, you can defend yourself. And so, but the question is, if you are able to set up people to say they are providing self-defense, and then there is enormous evidence later that these people are actually instead, causing more harm, then that is where the problem is. So, like I'm saying, there are plenty intricacies and there plenty challenge and they way before struggle you will get thieves them. Inside struggle you get thieves them. After struggle you go get thieves them. Now for ground zero we not fit differentiate who be thief and who be true person where he talk say he be self-defense volunteer. In that case, how will we be able for arrange and way to see well coordinated leadership where if he stand he talk on behalf of people then say I think this way will be and I think this way we want and then now they hold this way will be taken for go get that thing and then people then be able to rally behind we as a leader to do this. So at the talk say another error, another coordination, another error, and that error will be very costly. So the call Kobina say make people try for be honest with themselves. If you defend yourself, defend yourself. If you defend communities, defend communities. If you talk say you fight war and then we for war na soldier they shoot soldier, then now you shoot na human another civilian. That one not be something where person feel live and may sleep. That one na something where person supposed to be able to talk and clearly for talk say that one not be self-defense. That one na completely destruction of the same community where in the day like say we try to say more fight to secure that community. So that call, it be say that thing it get to be revised. If we want talk thing where it get to be changed, those kind of aspects they get to be revised. If anybody they talk say it be self-defense, it get to know which is self-defense be and defend yourself. And if you want to defend others, it defend others as a matter of your duty where they do towards your people. And that one it could be fine. And then the other issue now a lot of unnecessary seeking of attention. Many people for diaspora where if you want check, you discover say even maybe the way where they be first go for diaspora not be really be because they be work some things so much where it be merit say may they get some reward or award for beat themselves their chest talk say they go for diaspora. But when you see the way they talk for diaspora, you ask yourself say if they be there for ground zero, what did they for do? What did they for talk? You see way person where if they talk for diaspora way if you be catch you put them for here, enough you talk no nothing. You ask yourself, say this person they really sit down for here, so they talk this thing, they instigate people, they talk the one, they make the one, they kill people, they make and people they die, they make and they waste on other people their life. This person they talk so way they talk now waiting. Wait if you put you for here enough for talk something. Some person don't talk say people they over talk for diaspora, they could bring them, make them come be for here the fight, they go for front, the lead. So this one has some kind of contemplation there where they hope say if it help for inform, for reshape, and for reform and for help make people they think really critically before they make decisions of their own contribution for try for help for people. I not deny the fact say well people I don't hear some other leader don't talk say if person thief good for community, all man could shout for a head. What if person thief a whole house? What if person thief a whole farm? You see say the idea say problem there it be very strong and it be very firm. And for me, the encouragement I say may they solve the problem, but everybody where they contribute to solve the problem needs to understand the problem well, understand the coordination within people around the problem, and try to contribute positively to solving the problem and not negative, no matter what dimension the person takes.
Thank you, Ferdinand. You answer that question just like civil society advocating for non-violence, but you put your finger on the point. Now you me at the same. May we this show I be host, but me I be Southern Cameroonians as well. I get the pulse as well because you don't put your point. Very very powerful because some people that they hear this keyboard, behind their keyboard. Now, the reason why we may have the talk say, you know, the fight war 1,000 miles away. And if I say, me will condemn thing where it bad, and then praise thing where it be good. Me will not sugarcoat it. Because when we condemn thing where it be bad, the people where they feel the pain on the ground, they see and say, we feel their pain. We can see it from a distance. But when if we dey from outside, because this media they are the reach of everyone, you talk some thing because you know say nothing no fit do for you. But thing where you talk for outside, na ye way it destroy family back at home. And na ye way me have asked and say some of these things, if I may we identify them, say yes. Now some of the errors then that way we don't make. For these 8 years now, we don't learn. We know how to go ahead. And my own example, I say, when I see how our fighters, they start this struggle and they end up begin to kill brothers and some of the bad elements, they destroy the good elements where many that they do them. And if I say, may we condemn those bad elements, may we not try to cover them, because the people where they suffer on the ground, they will feel say we no understand and we will not understand their own situation. So, and equally, I don't say may we not defend ourselves, because right now, if this struggle end now, La Republic, they respect we because we will take up arms. And if we everybody like the force of argument, not the argument of force. But tell me in the Western world, in any revolution in the world, that has ever happened. The white man will encourage you to do something like that. But if they are coming at you, they will rain at you with the mightiest force. So may we not just deceive ourselves. Thing will never happen for 60 years. All of a sudden, it will happen. We get respect to now because they be push we, may we defend ourselves. Pastor, may I pass this over to you, because I really see you be passionate, say, may we defend ourselves, and then may we defend ourselves correctly, because now our right, now every person is right. If you shed some light on this one.
We agree, universally say, if an oppressor it poses an existential threat for you, you really get the legal right for fight back. One of the tools where oppressors do they use, the first thing in their toolbox, na fear. When they always believe in getting you to be afraid. The reason, but this is something that we, the oppressed, something where we, the oppressed, will get to know about the oppressor is that they are more afraid of you than you are afraid of them. Once you know, say, oppressors, now people where they be unstable emotionally and their emotions can easily crumble. When you stand up to their fear criteria, you are halfway gone. And you don't see how oppressive structures, they don't crumble when the people they rise up all over the world. This is because sometimes they be where people that they just conquer that fear. And you give the oppressor the last thing maybe they expect from you, for stand up against the fear. So we get for no so. Of conquering fear, not the first initial step. And in September 2017, we will come out for sure. The oppressor say, we've had enough of this. Some people think, say, look, that spirit for that 2017, when people they can't out go protest. When people they see a law, in the struggle, they conclude, and the enemy don't go about sometimes. It declares, say, oh, the struggle is about to be over, because they don't say action. The thing what the faithful understand and say, that 2017 spirit is just a dormant, but it is not there. And trust me, the slightest opportunity go reawaken that spirit. So we look forward to our people, conscious of the fact, say, the struggle is still there alive. May they hold tight onto their spirituality and their belief for their freedom. Say, it no will ever be won until it is won. Now, the thing that will they bring for this struggle, one, will people their resolve and their resilience. Now, one thing where it comfort me, they don't quiet, but the resolve is there. We know them. Everybody know. The resolve there. And so sometimes when we look at this struggle, we look, a lot of circumstances where they prevail in the background. There is this whole thing about elections where they come up this year. And me personally, I think the most important election for we Southern Cameroonians, now that plebiscite where it will come, the plebiscite will come. The La Public elections, I mean, if you go vote, but it is guaranteed that you never win if Poppy and a candidate. So maybe people to be very vigilant. Now, the thing that I want to talk, say the struggle is not going to be won until it is won. And right now, La Republic, they come to their senses, maybe they recognize the fact, say, they feel resolve this issue voluntarily and willingly, and then we can re-establish a new relationship. Because we didn't choose to be their neighbors. That is not something that we chose to be. So at the sound, this plea for all our people say, but they're hanging tight for the struggle.